Hello everyone, and welcome to Exam Active. Today, we will learn how to set up a school. We will start by logging in as a principal and signing in. Once you click on Sign In, you will access the dashboard. Here, you can see the Setup Wizard, and you can view the setup status. Let's go through the Setup Wizard. I will click on the Setup Wizard. This section is pre-configured. These are the 5 steps that need to be configured for every school. The profile has already been configured by an administrator. When a request is raised by a school, we need to set up a class, set up a subject, and establish the timing for the school. Finally, we need to review the process. Let's look at how to set up a class through this step-by-step process. If you click on Classes, you can see there are 14 classes and 50 sections available. Below this, you can see the total capacity. Here you can view classes like LKG, KG Class 1, Class 2, up to 12th class. You can configure this information. If you want to add a section, you need to click on the specific class and then add a section. You can name it or any other name you prefer. Now, I will input the section and the strength of the class. For example, 25, and then click on Add. A section has been successfully created. For instance, LKG now has Section A. Similarly, if you want to create a B section, I click on the selecting capacity, 25, and Add. You can see that Section B has been created. In the same way, if you want to add sections for a UKG, you can add them here. We have created 6 sections for a class. These are the sections where you can use specific names for the classes. This is how we create a dedicated section for each class, such as Rose or Ruby. Next, we need to add the subjects. Since each class has different subjects, you can select them here. For example, if you select Class 10th, you can choose subjects like biology and chemistry. If you are trying to select computer science, scroll down to view all the available subjects. This displays all the subjects selected for that class. Currently, 5 subjects have been selected. If you select computer science for Class 10th, the system will assign the relevant subjects. After you save these mappings, clicking Save Mappings will successfully save the subject configurations. And now you can see that 6 subjects are configured. Previously, there were only 5. Now, you can see that the 10th class has all 6 subjects configured. You can configure any subject for any class here. Now, let's move to the next step, school timings. Here, you can create multiple timings for a school. For example, a Class 12 school might have only one timing. Some schools might offer half-day schedules or timings up to 3 o'clock, depending on their time zones. For each class sector, you need to add a corresponding group. I have just created a group for this. First, you can create a group and add a group name, such as LF, and include classes from the 1st to the 5th grade. Next, you can set the time. For example, select the desired time, such as 9 o'clock. If you select 9 o'clock, it will be set from 9 o'clock to 1 p.m. You can then save this schedule. You can enable live study if required. Save this group. The group has now been successfully created. As for the elementary classes, you can remove, edit, or cancel them as needed. You can also schedule classes from Monday to Friday, or specify 2 days a week, or 6 days from Monday to Saturday. This defines the period duration, which is 45 minutes as the standard. You can adjust this setting. For instance, the school hours might run from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock. You can specify the 45-minute interval per period. You can also set the period or hourly duration to 60 minutes. The general standard is 45 minutes per period. You can add breaks, such as a morning break, which has a standard duration of 15 minutes. You can also edit or delete existing entries. These are the system defaults. Default settings include a lunch break. You can set the lunch break duration to 12, 30, or 32 minutes. You can add additional breaks, such as 1 hour or 30 minutes. If you require extra breaks, click on Add Break to input more timings here. For now, I will delete this entry. Finally, review the schedule summary. The final schedule summary shows that working 9 days at 8 a.m. a day and ends at 4 o'clock. Let's save this information now. The school information has been successfully saved. I will now review these settings. I see most of the profiles have been reviewed. The school profile and class settings have been established for a year and for various classes. We have only set a few sections, but we need to configure them for all subjects and the necessary configurations. We need to set up the subjects and configurations, including the times. All this information is displayed here. If you have a payment gateway, you also need to set up a payment gateway and an SMS provider. These two options are optional, depending on the school's requirements. They can set up a payment gateway or an SMS provider. This is for collecting fees online and sending SMS notifications to parents regarding fee requirements. Once you have completed the payment setup or SMS provider configuration, for example, if you want to set up an SMS provider, you need to click on Setup and navigate to the integrations. Here, you need to proceed with the setup. Select SMS and add your provider. We have provided this specific provider. If you select message 9 and configure it this way, if you require assistance, we can configure it for you. Or you can directly go to message 91 if you prefer. For an SMS, we will proceed with India, and you can view the pricing based on this rate. You can choose any plan, which we will incorporate for you. The billing will then be sent. Only the amount will be used for the pricing when you consider message 91. Now let's return to integrations. Let's go back to the school setup wizard, and in the same way, you can also configure the payment gateway. For the payment gateway, we are providing options like Razor Pay and Phone PE. If you are interested in other payment methods, you can select them here. Now, coming back to the setup wizard, this is how we need to configure the initial stage. There is one more setup that needs to be configured after all this is complete. How do we set up a timetable? Let's look at the configurations. In the staff section, you can see the timetable scheduler. Quickly access the timetable scheduler. You will see the timetable here. If you want to configure a timetable for a specific class, for example, I will show the configuration for the 10th class, which is already set up for Section A. So, the data loads, and you can see that the subjects for the 10th class are already configured. When configuring the timetable, you can see if you want to change the name of any teacher. If you don't want a teacher assigned to this period, you can click here and select a subject, for instance, chemistry, and you will see the available teachers here. If the teacher is occupied, the system will indicate that they are busy teaching chemistry. If a teacher is occupied, it will show busy. Biology teachers are also like biology, meaning they are currently assigned as demo teachers. Chemistry is also taught through demonstration by the teacher. This screen now shows the busy status. Let me show you this one. When I look at physical education, I see Jaya Joshi is teaching it. If I try to change the instructor, in biology, I notice that no teacher is currently available. However, if a teacher is available, you can assign the class. When you don't see the teacher available here, we need to navigate to the teacher section. If you click on the teacher section, the teachers will be displayed here. We can create teachers here. You can either use the Import Excel function or Export Excel to create the entries. All the teachers currently in the school can be exported if you need the data in an Excel format. Now, I will try to create a new teacher. For example, if you want to create a new teacher, to create a new teacher, you need to enter the first name of the teacher. Then you enter the last name and the email ID. The phone number is not required, but you can provide it if necessary. You can add multiple teachers here. The system accepts only 10 digits for the phone number. I can create multiple teachers, but now I am trying to delete one. If I click on Save here, an email will be triggered to the teacher. One teacher has been successfully created, and the email notification is triggered. You can see the email notifications here, showing the status of the teacher. For example, one email is active. The teacher has been created. I will now click on the teacher profile to set a temporary password and log in. It is created with an employee ID. Now the teacher can log into the portal. If you click here, I will copy the password. I will click on the link. Once I click sign in, I will land on the teacher's profile, where I need to enter the teacher details by providing all the necessary information, including date of birth. I will now be selecting any year. Let's select a date, such as 2026 or 2020, and input a random number and date. Email, contact number, alternative phone number, and if required, the contact address, and city date. Let's consider the state, Telangana, PIN code 505210, city Hyderabad. Some random address, feature the employee ID, and the subjects are optional. You can select them here. The teacher, which subjects she is proficient in. I can select a specialization in physics or biology, English, mathematics, economics, and Hindi. Here, the teacher can select all these subjects she teaches. You can enter experience, such as 15 years. The teaching subject can be selected, the primary subject, for example, math. You can enter the qualification and the date of joining, school, and a previous school name. Please note that I am using dummy data here for demonstration. You can even add all the additional details. While not necessary, it is good to have this information. I can specify the languages spoken, such as English, Hindi, Telugu, and Marathi, including Tamil and all other languages. If you have a LinkedIn profile, you can add your LinkedIn details here. Now I will reset my password because the password generated by the exam active will no longer be valid. It will be validated after 24 hours. I will enter the terms and conditions, and then I will click on the complete profile. Once I view the complete profile, I can see that my teacher name and password have been created. I am required to log into the landing page using this password. Since the teacher account has been created, a principal needs to create a subject, and a class needs to be associated with it. This page shows the association process. This is how it will be set up. Your principal will assign classes and subjects to you. You will be able to create exams and manage students. Your full dashboard will become available. Now we need to connect with the principal. Let's log out and review your profile. Here is the teacher profile again, showing all the information you have filled in. Now let's navigate to the principal page. To configure this teacher, I am returning to the principal portal and clicking on the teacher section. Now you can see the list of teachers that have been created. There are currently 71 teachers available. Let's search for a teacher. We have recently created Teacher 1, who teaches all these subjects. Let's see how to assign a subject to a teacher from the principal's view. Click on this subject and select Assign Subject. Once you click Assign Subject, you will be redirecting to assign a subject to a teacher and also a class. We also have the options available. Let's start by assigning the class. I will navigate to the Assign Class section now. Next, search for the selected teacher. Remember that you need to manage these settings. Now you can see the details. Currently, there are no classes assigned to this teacher. Once I click on Manage, I will be redirected to the Management panel. On this page, I need to input the information. It indicates that no subjects are qualified for this page. I will go back. I will click on the teacher again, then click on Subjects. Now I will be selecting the available subjects. Select the teacher's subjects. Then you can assign them to a class. For example, if the teacher can teach computer science, I will click on Edit Subjects. The teacher can teach chemistry, biology, mathematics, and science. I will select these 4 subjects. Once I click on Save, I can now add the corresponding class. I can see the teacher's profile. I click on Assign Class and then select the teacher again. Click on Manage Teacher and select a class. I will select the desired class and then click on it. For example, I will try to add subjects for the 8th class here. Okay, but I don't see the associated classes. The classes are associated with the subjects. So let's go to the Setup Wizard, which is where we troubleshoot these settings. If you enter the subjects, try assigning some subjects. I don't see the 8th class listed here. We will select an 8th class and then select a subject. Let's select biology. Save your subjects, such as chemistry, English, mathematics, maths, and social studies. Once saved, you can return to this section later. Navigate to the same classes. Select a teacher, manage the teacher, and add a class. I will now be adding this teacher. I will add him to the 8th class. I can see that he is qualified to teach biology, chemistry, and maths. I can also add one more class for this teacher. If we add the 9th class, I don't see the subjects listed for the 9th grade yet. I will cancel that entry and add the class subjects for the 10th class. Now, for the teacher, I will be adding only mathematics for the last 10 classes. Now, save this information. The teacher has now been successfully associated with the class subjects. If you look here, you can see that this teacher is associated with Class 10 and Class 8. Out of 6 slots, 4 of our subjects have already been assigned. Now, if I go to the timetable scheduler, I will select for the 8th class. We have gone through Section A, and now the timetable is loaded. For mathematics in the 8th class, I see Ramesh Middle for maths, and I want to associate him now. Teacher 1. Here you can see the subjects recently created for mathematics. I can update and save this information for the teacher. 1 for mathematics. Now, Teacher 1 is occupied. You can see all the teachers who have been occupied, the subjects they teach, and the number of periods they are associated with. These color codes are shown here for computer science. You can see the color assigned to English, and how it is for fine arts, general knowledge, and all other subjects. Also, if a teacher is assigned to a class and the subjects they can teach, we can automatically generate the timetable. Now, let's look at an example, such as for 8th class, Section B, where I currently have no timetable. We can use auto-generation. This process will schedule subjects like English, science, and mathematics. We also input all the subjects available and the teachers who are available. Let's see how the schedule is created. We can see how the teachers are distributed, for instance, where the 8th grade teachers are assigned. For example, we select subjects like biology and chemistry, and then we consider the effective options and extra constraints. The system will automatically balance the teacher load across all days and minimize any potential conflicts. It also accounts for existing assignments. For example, if a class or a day is already filled, that information will not be overwritten. This results in a general timetable. Now, the complete timetable has been created through auto-generation. Click on Save to save the timetable and the complete configuration. The timetable will be saved. This is how you configure the schedule for a school or establish the initial setup. We can also verify the complete configuration. There is a setup status where you can review the details. You can see the complete configuration as we discussed. If there are any issues, the system will display them. For example, I see that I haven't configured the rooms or exam halls. This might apply to a building setup. A school often has multiple buildings and floors, and we need to configure details like the last 10 floors or 9th grade classes. To add a room, click on Add Room and specify the room number, for example, 1 or 1. Next, name the room, such as 10th class. Specify the floor and select the classroom location, the first whether it is on the first floor or once you click the complete structure for the room is successfully created, reaching 100% completion. We are now ready for admission setup, including selecting fees, creating timetables, and setting up exams. We can also set up report cards, although we have not yet finalized the online payment details. We have established the foundation layer, including assignment alerts and WhatsApp notifications. Now, teachers and students can actively create exams, build timetables, and manage fee collections. We also have a notification panel here for admissions and messages directly in the inbox. Let's view this section to see a summary of the entire school setup. By clicking on View Summary, you will see the complete overview. This provides a detailed summary of all sections and classes that still need configuration. If you wish to add a new section, there is a navigation menu available here. If you want to add a subject, there is navigation from this area. From here, you can view the teacher assignments. We have now assigned classes for the 8th grade, the 10th grade, and the 11th grade. Assigned. Go Live signifies readiness. You can verify all these details on the current page and also have the links here to configure the respective pages. I request you to view this page as a final stage, where you can clear any outstanding issues if necessary. For Class 10, you have no subjects assigned. You can go, assign subjects, and then come back to Subjects, where you can perform all your operations. Feel free to replace your comments and questions so our team can get back to you in the customer case report. If we have a genie, this will also help you understand how to set things up. If you want to see how the student information works, if you want to know, if you click here, it will open the students section. If you click here, it will redirect to the student overview. Similarly, if you click here in the genie and ask any question, hello. If you say hello, it will prompt you with what exactly you need. Do you want to see the staff attendance? Do you want total attendance, total students, pending approvals, school exams, or your announcements? If I click on staff attendance, I go to attendance, and the information is displayed, so it leads to the attendance section. If you don't find what you need here, you can ask the genie. It will assist you. Thank you for watching. If you have any queries regarding the school configuration, please reach out to our customer care. We are here to help you set up your school. Thank you very much.